What is it? What is it, baby kitty? Oh, yeah? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Oh, oh, don't be shy. Okay. All right. Hey, guys. Yeah, more cats. We welcome to another special Thursday edition for the weekend AMA. Some of you saying, Dylan, it's Thursday. Where's the weekend and Thursday? I say, don't worry about the specifics. You got to do things when you have time to do them. I am going to be quite busy on Saturday, and Sunday's usually busy as well. And I'm going to be busy on Friday night taking care of some work stuff for work after hours work event. And so here we are, because I like doing these and I think they provide value. Welcome to the Weekend AMA, where every week we get together for a little bit and have a talk, have a chat, answer some questions, talk about some stuff. Here we are. I usually start with a topic, a question, whatever it may be. So today's intro topic is about 3 ways that I'll be improving in the coming months. 3 main ways. So my main objective as a developer is to now work my way up at my company from a developer position to a team lead position. That'll be my objective. I think I can accomplish that within a year. We'll see what happens, but that's my objective. So how am I going to do that? Well, I have to reevaluate. I have to reevaluate what is important to my company and how I'm going to accomplish those things. Well, one way is by being able to work on those soft skills. I think I'm pretty proficient in the soft skill aspects of being a developer. Those are things like being able to communicate clearly, being able to break down a complex problem and explain it to people who are not technical, without, some people talk down to other people who aren't technical. That's definitely something that you don't want to do. So how am I going to continue to improve my communication skills? Not saying I'm bad or anything. Well, one is by actively putting myself in situations in the workplace, how I'm going to accomplish that, or in actual situations. Another is by going to meetups and talking about topics to beginners and trying to explain things that way. I might even do a Toastmasters. I haven't fully committed myself mentally to that quite yet, but that might be something. Second, how am I going to accomplish that is understanding what's important to the business. Covers more than just being able to have clear communication with the business, but things like understanding Agile and getting better at that, because that's something my work is making an active push for. So how am I going to do that? Well, there's a couple Agile certifications. When I finish my two tech certifications, I will handle that. Or my 2 software books, I'll be handling that. And moving into that and reading books on it, and of course getting a certification in it. So I'll be doing that with the Scrum Alliance, and I'll be getting the I'm still debating if I'll be studying for the dev aspect of Scrum, or the general Scrum degree, because there's multiple ones. So it really just depends. But that will be the second way that I'm going to improve myself in that situation. And the third way that I'm going to put myself in a position to accomplish that goal is I'm going to make it known that that is my goal. A lot of times people are very scared to say, look, this is what I want. This is what I'm working towards. And if your manager and the people, his managers, know what your objective is and how you're working to accomplish that, and they can see that you're in that position, I don't want to say it's a squeaky wheel gets the oil, but it's definitely the, hey, look at Dylan wants that. And look what he's doing to accomplish it. Might get your name brought up into that conversation a little bit more. So that's more so the idea. So that's my objective in the next year, and 3 ways that I'm going to improve. Just 3. I'm gonna do other things technical outside of that, but that's for that that promotion I'm going after in a year from now. New World says, "Well, company hire a developer for a high-paying position if they have great skills, awesome. GitHub with 0 experience." Yeah. So my advice though, New World, is do not worry about the money from the get-go. Take a position, get the experience, just leave for more money if you got a bad paying job. It's not unheard of for you to get $10,000 to $30,000, $40,000 raises, by job jumping 6 months or a year later. So I think that's a perfectly fine and reasonable thing to do. Thanks, Kevin. All the Kevins. Hey, Dylan, I've been enjoying your algorithm course. Thanks for putting the work in. You're welcome, man. So that's when I haven't really talked about this too much in the live streams, but one thing that I'll be doing is I want to do some mass updates to my JavaScript course and my my 100 algorithm challenge course. I'm thinking of adding about another 25 algorithms to the 100 algorithm challenge, as well as more questions about how to break problems down. My hope from that course is that you get about 100 different ways to see how I solve things, and just by repetition and by explanation, it starts to click. But I want to add about 5 to 10 minutes of videos breaking down how I solve problems, and maybe trying to make it a little bit more visual with like a whiteboard, and then adding some additional ones while I'm in there. And so that will be something that I do, as well as my JavaScript Part 1 course. I think I'm just going to convert that to a like JavaScript master course. And so I'm going to add a whole bunch of additional content that just cover everything JavaScript and maintain it. So the 27th of this month, exactly 2 weeks, it is I'm expected to be closing on my house. Still going through the underwriting process and all that sort of stuff, the standard process. It takes about 30 to 40 days to close on a house typically. But everything's going smoothly from what I'm told, and everything's going well. So once that happens, we can kind of figure some things out. But that's going to be something that I work on this year as well, because I think the JavaScript course came out very well, and I think the algorithm course has worked out very well as well. Get home warranty. So my home is a brand new house. So everything's under warranty, somewhere between a 1 to 2 year warranty on everything. So just by default, I can definitely go and expand upon it. But I'm right now the warranties are all included. Best project for your portfolio when you first applied to your development roles. So my best portfolio project has always been my my YouTube channel. So yeah, my best project has always been the YouTube channel, and for a couple of reasons. One, it showed the characteristics of what a good junior developer is, and a good junior developer is someone who's learning, who is passionate. That's it. Good communication as well. So it quite literally shows all of that, and you can see that in with my YouTube channel. So one thing I would say for good projects in general is some sort of CRUD service. To a personal portfolio, API projects is connect to your CRUD service, something unique, and a long-term side project, something you're going to continue to grow with and update. So is it good to write code even if you haven't learned it yet? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Like, are you just copying code and pushing it out? Greg the Tech God. Damn, Greg, stepping up your that sounds like you made a channel. Yeah, Kevin's correct in the show in that earned more when I looked into my programming skills as a business. The less emotional I got, the more the pay. Yeah, so I don't want to go too much into it at my work, but every week my boss and I sit down and we talk about things. It's a weekly one-on-one for about 15 minutes. How are things going? How can I help you? You know, what's on your mind? Anything bothering you? You know, anything he can help me with? That type of stuff. And so, there's two paths to go down. And we sort of briefly talked on that, and we had talked about it before about I had inquired. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, right? So I renegotiate my contract with my current work, and like, you know, so things are a little bit tense. So I was like, look, I'm not saying I'm going to leave, but I'm just curious. Now that I've renegotiated my contract, what's next? Because I'm always moving towards something else. Like that's just the way I am. Like, okay, cool. I just got a promotion and pay raise. How do I get to the next promotion and pay raise? Right. So that's how I work. And so in my case, both paths were great, but I just did a little bit of research about what would pay the best long term, and that's the one I went with. Because I see when you enjoy it all, the only real like for me, I enjoy all of the stuff, right? I enjoy the front end, I enjoy the back end, I enjoy it all. And so like for me, really the main factor then is okay, well, what pays the best one has good job growth, and we just go with that. That's it. So I mean, why not? If I enjoy it all, so what's the thing that makes the money and has good job growth? Copying code you haven't learned, altering anything. I don't know, man. So Stevie B, here's the thing: is there anything wrong with it? No, I think that's part of the way that people learn. I think eventually you have to break yourself off of that, but I think it's fine, man. We all are going and learning in different ways. I'm taking JavaScript, HTML, CSS, some other basic CS classes. What should I study for an internship after the school year? Like 5 best computer science skills. Well, first thing I would say is you're going to want to learn how to think like a developer. So that means being able to break down problems. So I would say mainly focus on algorithms. If you're depending on where you're interviewing, you're probably going to be asked about certain sort of data structures and sorting algorithms, things like bubble sort, merge sort, breadth first search, binary search tree. Those are things that you might be asked. But really, just trying to impress them with your knowledge of and practical aspects of, oh, look at this portfolio, look at my projects, look at what I'm, my how I do this, how I do that. That's the thing that's going to impress a lot of employers more than anything else. Did uh did I struggle with? Do you struggle with algorithms? If so, how do you overcome that? I have developed apps before in a website, but I get stuck on free cookout algorithms. Yeah, I mean, I think we all do, right? But I think that's what separates sort of the boys from the men. At the end of the day, that's what gets you paid the big bucks, because at the end of the day, that's going to be what should. So when you can solve algorithms, it means that you can problem solve, right? Um, and that you're just not someone who memorized stuff. Um, so, but yeah, Julian, I know I mentioned a whole bunch of algorithm things. It really depends on what. Are you interviewing at Microsoft? If you are, that's the stuff that you're going to get tested on. If you're interviewing at a normal company, then you just understand how to solve algorithms. So, uh, but yeah, I mean, you just got to put the time in and space. So I have my 100 algorithm challenge, and I helped that make that to get me better for when I was doing my job search. And it just takes time and energy, man. That's really it. You just got to put the time in and start working with it. Did I ever struggle with analysis paralysis? No. I just kept learning. If there's so many options, just get started on one, and as you learn more and as you progress more, you'll figure out what's right to learn. That's how I got it. Is it a JavaScript HTML course? It's the algorithms course is a TypeScript course, which is a superset of JavaScript. So in that aspect, it does cover JavaScript, but it's not HTML. It's all algorithms. I have a JavaScript course as well that goes over like a ton of different JavaScript. It includes 20 algorithms for you to sort of practice on. How do you handle overtime? Would you ever go to work on the weekend? So so overtime's interesting. So by and large, I don't work overtime. I refuse to. I don't refuse to. Let me rephrase that. So very little is typically accomplished in overtime. Where do you find all my courses? In the description below. You find all the courses and books I recommend and things like that. When it comes to overtime, if it's something that I messed up on or the devs messed up on, I'm happy to work overtime. When it comes on, I look at overtime as like a game day sort of thing. Like game day comes once every 3 months. Hey, we have this special event. Can you come in and do this? Can you stay late and do this? Yes, I'll do what I can. I really will. But if it becomes a everyday thing, it's no longer game day. Every month thing, it's no longer game day. And all that means is that you're taking advantage of me. All that means is that someone's not planning properly. But for the most part, I try to be a team player. And for the most part, I try and get comp days. Okay, well, you know what? I had to work Saturday and I had to stay late Friday. Can we get me some comp time? I have no problem as a salaried professional saying I want some comp time. Comp time for those compensation time. Essentially, all that means is that at the end of the day, that guess what? I'm not working Monday, but I'm getting paid for Monday. You know what I mean? That's really it. Because burning out your devs is a great way to cost yourself money in the long term. So that's normally how I have it. So if it's something I messed up on, I'm happy to help out and I'm happy to be a team player. But it should be the exception, not the norm. And once it becomes the norm, you ain't gonna have to worry about me working overtime much longer. You know what I mean? I'm paid well, but here's the thing you have to understand. As a professional, you need to make sure that you're not working overtime. People want to pressure you into it, fine. But that's on you. I'm a professional. I put in hard work while I'm there. I don't drag my feet. I don't waste my time. I'm not on Facebook. I'm there. I'm putting in my time. I'm knocking out my tickets. I don't know how I compare to my peers, but I can tell you that I would probably say that I get quite a bit done because I think I do. And I know that I'm actively knocking things out left and right, and I'm because I'm not wasting any time. I'm putting my time in. I'm not just there shooting the shit. I'm not at the schoolyard. I'm at work. So I have no guilt about working overtime because you got your 40 hours. So, and on top of that, I already feel like I'm working overtime. I do 20, 30 hours a week outside of on stuff. Here, this right here, me talking to you guys is me getting better. Talking about software is me getting better, doing something for the software community. All good things. I study. I do all that sort of stuff. So, if you really want a good answer about like professionalism, there's a book in the description called the Professional Coder, or the clean coder. Excuse me, the clean coder. It talks all about professionalism. There's a link. Check it out. I highly recommend it. All right, watch the Dolan videos. Yeah, I'll have a Dolan video coming out in about a month or so, maybe 3-4 weeks. Good luck with your mobile stuff, Waldo. I'll be speaking to a recruiter for the first time tomorrow. What should I expect? It depends on what stage of the interview you're in. Most recruiters are just going to ask you about your experience, and so just be prepared to sell yourself. and just be prepared to talk about your projects. And they're going to ask about your work experience more or less. If you don't have any work, by the sounds of it, you don't have any work experience. So what you need to do is really just sell them on your skills and the projects that you've built. Do I have two different colored eyes? I do. One eye is darker than the other. They're both blue, but one eye is darker than the other. It's ever since I got my laser eye surgery on this one eye, it's more noticeable. This eye got much lighter, probably because they burnt off and shaved off some layers of eye skin. Hey, Dylan, full stack web developer, decent resume, online portfolio. I've been applying to all junior web developer positions for months and haven't got any calls. Any advice? Well, the thing that I do when I apply is I apply to job postings that were released that day. So I don't go and I apply. So I'll apply to 30, 40 a day on that day. So like, say you're looking for full stack positions in Seattle, I'll type full stack engineer. Any job app that was released in the last 24 hours, I'll apply to. And I'll just keep doing that every single day. And I get plenty of callbacks. I would also encourage you to apply farther out. So maybe your skill set isn't super in demand in your area, but consider moving, consider relocating, and be open to relocating and have many more job apps to be able to fill out. Hey Dylan, question: does it matter if I watch your videos all the way to the end? As in, does YouTube give you less if we skip out to the last 15, 20 seconds? I don't think YouTube gives me less, but they do track your like it does, because there's an ad that will play at the end of the video, so I don't get money for that ad, because you never play it. But it also ruins the watch time slightly. So like the average amount of time people watch my videos are somewhere like 5.5 to 6 minutes. So that's the average time. But the reason that's important is because the higher the watch time, the more likely they're to recommend your videos and things like that. But I don't worry about it, man. No, it's there's a whole bunch of crap that goes into all that. So it's hard to say. How far ahead do you film your videos? Usually I'm about 1 to 2 weeks ahead. Right now, with what's going on with just so with what's going on with right now with what's going on with what's the word I'm looking for? Work. So we just made a massive release for my work. So I've been putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into that. And we've also sort of I'm looking for been doing the house thing. So it's like literally the next day. So like today, say I had a video that normally would go out on Wednesday. It's like Tuesday. I'm getting it up, maybe on the weekends, but it's been a little bit rough right now. I've asked this before. Was having a YouTube channel that shows you're coding a good idea to have a way to show employees you know what you're doing? I think it is. It's done everything for my career. I don't know how you deal with the house plus work plus YouTube. That would stress me out. I'm not gonna lie, man. The house is really stressing me out. I'll feel much better once I'm in it, man. Yeah. I'm like this weekend, so April's learning Python. So this weekend I gotta learn Python so I can help her out a little bit. Do I think I'll ever move out west? Yeah, man. I got family out there. I'm happy in Tampa right now, though. I bought a house in the Tampa area. Thanks for the videos. You inspire great coding videos, which have recently helped me get an interview. Keep grinding. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Jason, and good luck with your interviews, man. My seller was trying to back out after she signed the contract. Yeah, man. I had to give a $10,000 deposit, so go from there. Why is April trying to learn Python? So she's gonna enroll in a master's in data analytics, but she has to take some coursework, essentially 3 courses in Python, more or less, to be eligible. So, yeah. Yeah, luckily, I mean, so luckily for me, like the house, the thing that's stressful about the house is just that it's new. It sort of almost feels like it's out of my hands. Um, so my house is 2850 square feet or 2830 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and we're currently in a 1,400 square foot apartment. So we're not really gonna have too much for it. Um, with it's going to cost me about, with HOA and insurance and all those things, it's going to cost me around $2,200 a month. But I take home with YouTube a little less than 4 times that. And so, like, we're fine on money. It's just more like it's stressful taking out $250,000 in debt, but like the monthly cost isn't too bad. It's just stressful. You mentioned her going back to school. Thought she was going back for a master's in English. I was like, hell no. So yeah, nah. She's trying to get some skills. So yeah. It's stress. I tell you what, man. I've been stressed out of my goddamn mind. This whole process. Yeah, it's been super stressful. So, can I do my one pull up yet? No. So here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I was hitting the gym 5 days a week for the last like 2.5 months. And like 3 weeks ago, they started locking the gym up in the mornings because some of the apartment kids are smoking joints in there and eating fiery Cheetos. So now it's locked until I leave for work. So I haven't had, and they close at 6. So they close at 6 and they're closed before I leave for work, which for me to go and put in my time, I need it to be open by 7. They don't open till 8 or 9. And it's crazy, man. So because these kids are smoking joints and eating fiery Doritos, hot Doritos, I can't work out anymore. So anyhow, but I'm gonna get like some workout equipment again and figure it out. But yeah, it's been kind of a bummer, man, because I was starting, dude. I was starting to lose my gut. I was starting to lose my gut. Things were getting better. I was feeling better, feeling good. So 250K in debt. Yeah, I mean it's not that bad, right? But I'm going from $0 of debt to $250,000, and granted, it's for a house and whatnot. But I mean, it's all relative, right? Do you think it's worthwhile to put on the resume? Yes, I do. I think you just have to explain it and sell it, just like anything else. Most certifications people don't know about. It's just about the explanation and what you learned, and then go from there. It gives you a chance to sell yourself. If I work hard, I could pay the 250 off in 5 years, so it's not too bad. We'll see though. Hey, Tito. I know. So I'm not trying to get any furniture right now until I move. So like, I just want to have every dollar I can available. Hey, buddy. I have a good one, Greg. Read goodbye things before buying any furniture. Okay, Kevin. I'll look into it, man. I don't really want that much stuff. I just need to get things like a fridge, maybe a dinner table, a couch, a guest bed. Hey. Oh, buddy. Forearm and wrist pain. Yeah, I've struggled with forearm and wrist pain. It happens. I mean, I don't know that it's caused by coding. It's probably just caused by being out of shape. um, so I mean, hey. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I plan on getting gym equipment. That's the one thing I wish my community had was have is it's a gym. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Stand up for a little bit. But I mean, one thing that you can do. So at my work, I have standing desks, similar to what I have at home. So to help with it, you can get a standing desk. Any recommendations for a coding / work laptop? Not really, man. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, do I feel that standing desk helps? Definitely. Definitely. I stand probably the majority of my time at work, actually. And so, you know, some days I'm feeling a little tired, but for the most part, I just sort of stand and I bounce around. I feel much better. I feel healthier. And like right now, I'm getting a little tired. But I want to finish. I want to do a solid 1 hour live stream. So I'm standing up. Sometimes you just gotta get the juices flowing and whatnot. It's just one of those things where it's good for your body because you get to stretch it a little bit. You get to, hey buddy, oh, you get to get a little blood circulating. It's better for you to stand than sit. You can get a lot of things. Is it possible at 3 monitors with a standing desk using arms? Oh, I don't know. Wait. What do you think? Oh, hey, buddy. All right, watch, buddy. Oh, you bit me. Am I still taking nootropics? No, I haven't taken nootropics for quite some time. Buddy. Okay. Come here. Come on. Dad's gonna put you down. Tito. All those monitors are in standing desks. Yeah, it's automated standing, sitting desk. It's got 2 and 2. It's one arm. Yep. They're 28-inch 4K monitors, so they're pretty big. Buddy. But yeah, have I used Vue.js? Yeah, I really like Vue. Someone asked me if I should start pursuing a coding career in their 40s. So I said, go for it. What is your opinion? I mean, I don't think age has anything to do with it. I think it has to do with how much time, energy, and hustle you can put in. You know, some people think the thing about being older and starting any new career is you're gonna have something where I have to have a job in 3 months. I have to have a job in 6 months. Okay. And they may be at a point in their life where like, I need to start at 100,000. And may not want to work their way up because maybe they're leaving some job where they're already making 80K. And they're like, look, I can't start at 45,000 and wait 2-3 years. I got kids. That's always my concern when people transition careers, regardless of what age they're at. It just happens when someone's later in life, they have sort of later in life shit that happens, right? Like a mortgage, like a family, you know? And so things like that. But in terms of someone getting going, yeah, but they're just going to have to be as good as anyone else. You know, I think my other gripe is that it's kind of crazy, but I would say people who are young, not necessarily younger, but newer to the profession, which tends to be younger individuals, they tend to be on top of the latest and the greatest, and that they're familiar with things. While, you know, people, I don't know, man. So it's so hard to say because it's just one of those things where, yes, just put the work in and don't make excuses, right? I have people all the time to comment on the ageism video telling me I'm full of shit. I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I talk about stats in there. And, you know, is there ageism in the world? Of course, there's ageism, there's racism, there's sexism. There's always going to be that in the world. But it's up to you to overcome it. It's up to you to get better and just, you know, most people aren't like that. You know, you're talking about maybe the 5% of people are pieces of shit. Most people are like, yo, man, if they can do the job and they're going to be easy to work with, great. Harder to bond with younger colleagues? I don't necessarily believe that, man. Some of the people that I work with, you know, my tech lead is about 40. Actually, I think it's like 37. So he's about 7 years older than me. And, you know, the majority of the people I work with, the business analysts, the project managers, those are people who are in their 50s. So it's just one of those things where, you know, most of the time people are just looking for good people to be around. It doesn't matter about age. It doesn't matter. You know, you can bond over software, right? The thing about software, man, and I have a whole channel talking about software. You think if I sat down with someone who is 50, who is a developer, I couldn't carry a conversation on with them? I couldn't enjoy their company? I couldn't bond with them? Of course I could. Some of the things I enjoy most are talking with my architect, who's probably in his mid 40s, and like we were at lunch the other day, and I found it fascinating hearing about how software was done 20 years ago, and just sort of the craziness of the web. Did age have anything to do with it? No, it was just a honest conversation that was the little bits of gold that I enjoyed of hearing. Like, damn, man, before my time, you know what I mean? Before my time, this is how it went down, man. And so, you know, that's really it. At the end of the day, you just want people to be around that are good people and that can do the job, and age has nothing to do with it. You know, oftentimes when you're asking questions over the phone, you don't know how old they are. You don't know what's going on. You just are asking the same questions you've asked the other developers that you've interviewed, and they come in great, and they have a take-home test. They pass it, great. age, gender, none of that has ever at any workplace I've ever worked at had been an issue. Does it in certain places? Of course it does. I don't live in this fantasy realm where this shit doesn't exist, but I would say it's the exception, not the norm. So, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael Smith, but it sounds like you're a little jelly of this guy from Google, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Yeah, data science would probably be what if you're gonna go. So Mikan, if you're let's assume someone is a genius. So just to clear up things, you don't need to be a genius to get into software development. There's plenty of normal guys. I don't consider myself a genius. I consider myself a hard worker. I consider myself intelligent, but I would not by any means say that I am a genius. So with that being said, I would say that data science is going to be one of the harder fields, but it is one of the best fields you can get into, as well as like cloud development. Had a horrible bootcamp experience, and your channel gives me hope venturing down the self-taught route. Yeah, so I mean, the thing about going to boot camp is it really is there to ramp you up and get you going. But at the end of the day, we're all go down the self-taught route one way or another. The craziest thing my boss said is that it's crazy the front is harder than the back end these days. It's true. I mean, I've been saying this for years, is that not years, but I've been saying for the last year or two that by and large, the majority of developers are in fact back-end, and they call them full stack developers, but they're really back-end developers. So to do good work in the front end, there's a lot more moving parts than there are in the back end typically. The front end involves a UI and a UX, and it involves being able to clearly communicate requirements, I think, to a much larger degree than the back end does. I also think that the front end, you get thrown in positions where you have to design things. You're not a designer by nature in the front end. There's, you have to communicate logic and user actions. Typically, the back end just has to manipulate data, send it to a database, get the response, and then just deliver it back or not. So I personally think the front end has, because of so many more moving parts, is a much more complicated role at the end of the day. I mean, also, you're dealing with such shit like browser compatibility and a whole mess of shit. So is SoCal too competitive land a job without CS degree? No, I think it's harder. I think it was harder for me at the time, but I also think that Southern California is a great market to be in. But I can tell you that I got a better job offer leaving state, and I had more opportunities being willing to do that. So. What trends do I see for the future of coding and web dev? I don't really know, man. It's kind of one of those things where I think we're going to see a lot more cloud development. I think DevOps will continue to grow into the field that it's become, and I think that's going to. I think you're going to see a lot more data analytics. I think you're going to see a lot more cloud, a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? A lot more blockchain. Blockchain's been growing, but just keep. Here's the thing: it's always going to be changing. So you just have to keep your ear to the ground. So yeah. Had I not gone into software development, what sort of career do you think you'd be in now? I mean, there's been thoughts along my ways of some of you may not know this, but back in God, so I'll be 31 next month, which makes me feel old. It's been a short minute. So I mean, I've gone through quite a few different career changes. I went and I got my EMT certification because I was studying for fire tech, but after doing that, decided something I wasn't going to be interested in. I went and got a dealer certification for a casino, and that was something that didn't pan out. I've gone and written blogs and used to think a lot about journalism, but realistically, knowing what I know now, I would probably just choose something that, I mean, it's hard to say that because do I know what I know now? If I do, what I would probably do is just find a good skill and work towards it. And so, something remote, something like marketing, something other than other like tech related roles, right? So, I might go into financial tech. So, I mean, there's a couple things I would have done, but your thoughts on the art of computer programming? I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Yeah. Did I actually take 300 hours to complete the JavaScript free code camp course? Did I take 300 hours? So oddly enough, it depends on how you look at it. So a lot of those algorithms I solved back before I had a dev job and carried over. And in that case, it's probably pretty close. It's probably closer to 200 hours because like that was when I never solved an algorithm a day in my life. So like each one of those like 40 algorithms, there's about 40 in total, like 36 or something like that. I probably spent about 4 hours on each one of those, like on average. So, and then, you know, you have all the coursework and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I could say so back when it was one certificate and it was 500, the estimated 500 hours, that was probably pretty accurate with how much time I put into the algorithms and how much time I put into building those like 12 projects. I've been attempting to code 6, 8, 10, or even 12 hours a day for the past 2 weeks now. Majority of the time is spent in frustration with small breakthroughs and tips. Yeah. Take a deep breath and figure out where you're frustrated. Are you actually reading the message? If so, because a lot of times people just look at it breaking and they stop there. They don't actually read. So slow down, read, and then try to understand the art of Google to a degree. So start there. Start by slowing down. Start by drawing things out. I find it really helpful, I found it really helpful to get a whiteboard and then draw out what it was that I wanted to build and what it was I was trying to accomplish before I ever wrote any lines of code. Do you suggest I work through free code camps algorithms? Take your Udemy course first. I think either is fine. I think you should do both, but I'm not worried about the automation. All right, guys. So I think that's it for this weekend AMA. As always, it's a pleasure. I want to thank. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, sir. Let me see here. I want to thank Jason Rivera, who donated $5, and I wish him good luck in his interview. By the way, I left a comment that I'm going to do a live technical interview on the channel with one of you guys, where we're going to start with technical questions and do an algorithm one. So look forward to that. We're gonna do it live. So I'm going to mock out a live technical interview as would be done in the workplace, and we'll go from there. It'll be exciting, and hopefully no one crashes and burns. But it'll be fun. So with that being said, look, not sure when I'll do that video, but probably next week or the week after. But I'll leave you with this. I always try to leave you guys with something to think about. First off, thank you for again, Jason, for donating $5. That is appreciated. That, for those of you who don't know, my YouTube money all goes towards paying off a house and buying a house and whatnot. So it is appreciated. You're helping chip away at that debt, and that is something that I don't take lightly. Secondly, work every day so that you're proud of yourself. One thing that I've said quite frequently is that I don't need anybody to be proud of me. I'm proud of myself. And that's because I've been here for the whole journey. I wasn't here for the cliff notes. I wasn't just here for the good parts. I wasn't just here for the bad parts. I was here for all the parts. I remember it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the parts that only I know about and no one else knows about. I was here for it all. So work so that you can be proud. Work hard enough that you're proud of yourself. Accomplish what you need to accomplish so that you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with what it is that you've become. That's what I want to leave you with. And don't need any external validation from anyone. No loved ones, no family members. That's all fine and dandy. I'm not saying you can't do that. But what you should do is work for yourself and accomplish for yourself and be proud of yourself. So I'll leave you with that. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.